What's going on, everyone? This is the Fraser Laveay podcast, sponsored by FanEverland.com. Check out the new site. It's all the sports, all culture, nonsense. And today, we're talking 50 stats you need to know for the NFL 2024 season. This is for betting, for fantasy football, some incredible things you might not know. And this is going to help you win money, win your fantasy football league. And it's really just maybe interesting facts that you can have over all your friends and let them know that you know a ton about football. I'm excited for this one. It's one of my favorite articles I've written just because even I came across some facts that I thought were unreal. As you may know, I'm becoming a new father. So this is a humble request to go up there, whatever, YouTube, Spotify, however you're listening to this. Give this a follow, a sub, a 5-star ranking. Bookmark FanEverland.com as one of your favorite websites and go check it out weekly or hopefully once every couple of days. But with that said, let's get into it. These are 50 stats you need to know for the 2024 NFL season to win bets, win your fantasy football league, and more. And I have some bonus ones I'll throw in first. Kirk Cousins in 2020 was the fourth highest paid athlete in the world. Yes, the fourth highest paid athlete in the world. If he's even an athlete, he is. It was Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, Kirk Cousins. Yes, this is a real thing that happened. He was, if you included endorsements, which he barely had any, he was 9th highest paid athlete in the world. So you're seeing names like Roger Federer, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kirk Cousins. Mind-blowing. The other bonus one I have for you is Kirk Cousins is 16-47 against winning teams. We give Tua all the shit for his terrible winning percentage against winning teams. Kirk Cousins is right there, and he's getting bag after bag. It's insane. So let's get into it. The actual 50 stats you need to know after shading Kirk Cousins, which I will continue to do. 1. Jordan Love started his first game last year. 2. In the final 8 games of the regular season, Jordan Love finished QB3 in fantasy football. 3. Jordan Love is currently going QB10 in all draft formats. 4. As a first-year starter, Jordan Love led his team to a playoff win and narrowly lost to the second-best team in football. 5. The Green Bay Packers are in a division with the rebuilding Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears. 6. As a first-year starter, Jordan Love led the Packers to a 9-8 record last year. 7. The Packers over-under for this year is 9.5 set by Vegas. You're telling me they just have to win one more game this year? Insane. They also have a pretty easy schedule. 8. Betting the exact division. Going Packers 1, Lions 2, Vikings 3, Bears 4, you're getting plus 1,300 odds. Even if the Lions should win the division, I'm not counting on it. And at 13-1, love those odds. I'm also not buying the Bears. So that's a little tough one as well. If you have the Bears over the Vikings, I do. 9. On FanDuel, Eagles, Texans, and Packers to make the playoffs is 3-1. One of my favorite bets in the world. 10. Chiefs versus Packers Super Bowl is plus 3,500 on FanDuel or 35-1. Not say it's going to happen, but 35-1, yeah, it's worth 10, 20, $50 depending who you are, how much money you have, 100, I don't know. 11. I can't name 49 quarterbacks who started in the NFL last year. 12. Anthony Richardson finished 49th in NFL completion percentage last year. 13. Yes, you heard that correct. There are 32 teams in the NFL, and Richardson's completion percentage was 49th. Number 14. Richardson started only 13 games in college and was 6-7 with the Florida Gators, who are a Tier 1 major school. Not like he was playing at Oklahoma State or some Tier 2 or Tier 3 school you've never heard of. 15. The Florida Gators had 6 players in the NFL draft, in Richardson's 2023 draft class. So he had talent around him. Number 16, 6 players drafted in the 2023 draft class was 5th most of all college teams. So his Gators team had the 5th most players drafted from that team in college for the 2023 draft class. Again, not a terrible team. The Gators had an offensive lineman go in the 2nd round of the 2023 draft, and wide receiver went 5th round in 2023 and 1st round in this year's draft. So now we're saying he's got a nice offensive line and really good receivers, some of the best in college. Number 18, Ricky Pearsall, who was with the Florida Gators, and Anthony Richardson in his last year. He had 48 receptions in 2021 when his quarterback was not Anthony Richardson. He had 33 receptions in 2022 when his quarterback was Richardson. And then his final year, he had 65 receptions in 2023 when, again, his quarterback was not Richardson. So his worst year out of his 3 years was in the middle when his quarterback was Richardson. Number 19, I cannot name 25 quarterbacks from the 2022 college football year. Anthony Richardson finished outside the top 150 in completion percentage in his final year in college. 150th completion percentage in college. It does, even if you're not throwing, it's completion percentage. It's not completions. He was the worst in completion percentage. It's just mind-blowing with great receivers, with offensive line. Number 2021, Anthony Richardson is currently going QB6 in fantasy drafts. Number 22, the Indianapolis Colts over-under is 8.5. 23, remember to subscribe to this podcast. 24, Baker Mayfield finished QB10 last year. 25, Baker Mayfield is going QB22 this year. 26, Aaron Rodgers finished QB11 in his final season in Green Bay in fantasy, and I think just overall. 27, Aaron Rodgers is now 40 years old, coming off a torn Achilles, and plays for the New York Jets. 28, Aaron Rodgers is going QB14, currently ahead of Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, Geno Smith, and more. 29 is where I throw shade at Kirk Cousins again. 1 win, 12 years in the league. Blasphemous. 30, Trevor Lawrence is 24 years old, entering his 4th year in the NFL. 31, Jayden Daniels is 23 years old, entering his 1st year in the NFL. 32, Caleb Williams went 7-5 in his final year at USC. 33, Caleb Williams has 10 fingers. 34, Caleb Williams used them to show "fuck Utah" on his fingernails and then proceeded to lose the Pac-12 to Utah that same day. 35, Caleb Williams is 0-3 against Utah. 36, Caleb Williams was the unquestioned number 1 overall pick, can't miss prospect, deemed to be a franchise QB. 37, only 4 starting rookie quarterbacks have finished in the top 12 in quarterback fantasy points in the last 10 years. That's a big one. Only 4 have been in the top 12 in the last 10 years in fantasy points. So be careful. Not everyone's going to be a CJ Stroud. 38, rookie starting quarterbacks have an average finish of QB 29 in points per game in fantasy football. Again, wild. Now, these guys, lately, I think rookie quarterbacks are a lot more prepared than they were 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, coming into the NFL. But still, just remember, fantasy QBs rank top 29 in points per game in fantasy football. Number 39, Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels are currently going QB11 and QB12 in fantasy football. Number 40, Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels play for the 5th and 6th worst teams over the last 10 years. I would say if Caleb went to the Steelers and Jayden went to maybe the Patriots or the Ravens, then I'm giving them a little bit more love. They're going to the Bears and the Commanders. Perennially terrible franchises. Number 41, 2020, which is when COVID ran rampant, which seems quite some time ago, was the last time Deshaun Watson threw for over 7 touchdowns in a season. 42. Just a reminder, 2020 was 4 years ago, almost 5. 43. Josh Jacobs is only 26 years old, playing on the best team he has ever played for, which also has a run-heavy offense and is 1 year removed from leading the league in rushing. 44. Josh Jacobs is currently going RB16 in drafts. 45. Joe Mixon is only 28 years old, playing on one of the best offenses in football, and is in a terrible division. 46. Ezekiel Elliott hasn't rushed for over 1,002 yards since 2019 and has only ran over 1,000 yards once since that time. 47. Geno Smith was 4th in passing TDs, 8th in passing yards, and finished QB5 in 2022. 48. Geno Smith is currently going QB24 in fantasy football drafts. Let's go back. In 2022, 2 years ago, he was 4th in passing touchdowns, 8th in passing yards, and finished QB5 in real stats and fantasy stats. And now also has the new wide receiver, Jonathan Smith in Jigba. I can never do it. GSN is right? Yeah. So I'm all in on the Seahawks. Not all in, like they're winning the Super Bowl, just definitely on all their overs and all their player overs. Number 49. Over the last 5 seasons, there have been 4 different rushing leaders on the Los Angeles Rams under Sean McVay. 50. Kyron Williams was selected in the 5th round of the NFL draft by the LA Rams. 51. Blake Corum was selected in the 3rd round in this past draft by the LA Rams. Correct. If you go back to 49, last 5 seasons, 4 different leading rushers, and now they select a running back in the 3rd round out of Michigan. You do the math. 52, I thought Austin Ekeler was 45 years old. 53, Austin Ekeler, is only 29 years old and is 1 year removed from a 1,600-yard season and 18 touchdowns. Look out. If he wasn't on Washington, I would have him a lot higher, as you can imagine. 54, Evan Ingram hasn't scored more than 4 touchdowns since 2017. Oh, if you notice, we passed 50. I came up with more. If you're having a good time, just keep on listening, because I've got well more than 50, and they get better. 55, Kyle Pitts has 6 touchdowns in his 44-game career and has had only 1,023 yards in his last 27 games. 56, Travis Kelce is 35 years old and said he played in body preservation mode last year until the playoffs, which is fine. I would do the same. Do I want him on my fantasy team doing this? No. 57, Kelce had 100 PPR fantasy points less in 2023 than 2022. Kelce finished tight end 3 last year in fantasy football. 59, Kelce is going tight end 1 in 2024. Tua was 1-6 with 7 touchdowns and 6 interceptions against winning teams last year, and has a 7-14 record against team with a winning record in his entire career. 62, Tua was QB 23 over the final 11 weeks of the season when he finally played decent teams. 63, Will Levis was 7-6 in his final year at Kentucky and was picked as a franchise quarterback. I like my quarterbacks to win. My number 1 stat for quarterbacks is winning above anything else. I'm going to actually write an entire article about this. I'm going to do some sort of research study about how this impacts NFL quarterback prosperity. 64. Jim Harbaugh has a 49-22-1 record as an NFL coach. This is the 5th best coaching record in NFL history. He then went 15-0, 13-1, 12-2 in his last 3 years at Michigan. Harbaugh ran the ball the second most in the NFL over his last 4 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers. His team finished 31st in pass attempts over his time with the 49ers, 69. The Chargers over-under is 8.5 wins this year. Also, as mentioned, they're going to run the ball. So do you fade Herbert a little bit? Maybe. 70. Nick Chubb squatted 540 pounds 8 months after a surgery. Next, we're almost done. 9 left. Aaron Jones ended last season with 5 straight 100-yard games, 2 of which were playoff games against the 49ers and Cowboys defenses, which are 2 of the top 5 in the NFL. 72, Najee Harris played only 53% of snaps in the last 9 games of the season last year. Kyler Murray has averaged being QB5 since 2019 when he came into the league. I've always thought he was too small, but good stats. At least great for fantasy when he's healthy. 74, 100% of people are fading the Buffalo Bills passing offense in 2024. In the AFC divisional game that the Bills lost to Kansas City by 3 points, mind you, the Bills' leading receivers in order were Dalton Kincaid, Khalil Shakur, Latavius Murray, and James Cook. Want to know who's not on there? Stephon Diggs or Gabe Davis. In the AFC wildcard game where the Bills beat the Steelers, the Bills' leading receivers in order were Kincaid, Diggs, Deontay Hardy, Khalil Shakur, Latavius Murray, Dawson Knox, James Cook, Andy Isabella, Ty Johnson. 77. Gabe Davis was not listed in number 74 or 75, 75 or 76. And Diggs wasn't listed in one of them and was one of 10 players who caught a ball from Josh Allen in the AFC wildcard game, which means he spreads the ball around. People forget that he is arguably the second best quarterback in the league, and people have been waiting for him to beat Mahomes and be the first best quarterback in the league until Mahomes just keeps on pulling it out. But don't sleep on, I don't understand why people are, did I say Jason Allen? People are sleeping on Josh Allen. It's insane to me. So I'm in on the Bills. I'm not buying. They're going to regress. They're going to win the division again. And that's all I've got to say about that. I hope you enjoyed. Those are stats you must know. It ended up being over 75. Again, check out faneverland.com for more stats. Power rankings just came out. The Fraser Laveay podcast, YouTube, Fraser Laveay YouTube channel. Thank you for supporting. It means the world. I'll talk to you later. More to come. And some travel. I got some a new travel podcast coming up soon. So listen for that one if you like travel. Talk to you later.